Hello, welcome to CLSB Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. I'm doing my Kamala campaign update September 7th, 2024. Lots gone on. It's kind of the real beginning, the meat and potatoes of the campaign, and we're a few days away from the first, probably the only debate we're going to get out of these two. And I'll be doing an entire show on that, I can assure you. So let's get started. First things first, this was at the end of the month. I've got a lot of questions about what was the bump from the convention. And I've had a little bit of time to think about it. And it's mathematically and statistically, I can't really show one simply because there wasn't one. That is to say that the trajectory that Kamala was on did not change. But her trajectory was this. So normally in an election cycle, we've had honestly, since probably Super Tuesday, we've known who the nominee is going to be, right? So that's like March, early March. That's enough points where, yeah, there might be a path to victory, but so and so has to take 85% of this other state, and that's just not going to happen because even those three other guys dropped out a month ago, they're still going to be on the ballot in the primaries, so that cuts down, blah, blah, blah. So we usually know by early March. Well, that means that, March, April, May, June, July, August. So we would have 5-6 months to learn about the candidate. And so their popularity goes like this, and then it just kind of flattens out. It just does this for a bit. And then the convention happens, boop, and you get a bump. And that's normal. We are not in normal times. And that's fact. So since her campaign was only really a few weeks old when the convention came around, and then there was the buildup of the convention, and then the convention was just so awesome that I think Kamala's bump that we didn't see was the lack of a drop. Like her trajectory just kept on keeping on. I mean, it's not jumping by like 5 points a day or anything. It's probably a tenth of a point a day. But over, 20 days, that's 2 points. I'll take it. So, oh hell, I'll take a point a week. Have a tenth of a point a week is money, in this business. So, yeah, so I think that's kind of how that worked out. This is where she was at the end of the month, more or less tied, but like crazy ahead in Michigan, behind in Arizona. Although we've watched that close quite a bit. Crazy ahead in Wisconsin. Statistically tied Nevada and Pennsylvania, but I think that's going to change quite a bit. And this was 9 days ago, so a lot's happened actually. Where are they on fundraising? The other important update for the campaign. Well, Harris is eating Trump's lunch. She is just devastating. I've actually never seen numbers like this for an August fundraising cycle, so this is all new to me. All from what I understand from all the people I talk to, this is all going out in the field. They're knocking on doors. They're putting headquarters in like rural Pennsylvania. I believe there's like more than 10 headquarters now for Harris. I don't think Trump's got 5 in rural Pennsylvania. So she's got twice that in the urban suburban areas. So I think in Pennsylvania, Harris is turning into Starbucks because you'd be able to walk to a headquarters at this point, which is great. And also where you should be spending that money in the field, where the campaign meets the people. That's where you got to spend your money. And that's what they're doing. And of course, they'll have giant ass media buys. You got to have them because they go into apartment complexes and high rises and condos and gated communities you can't get into with a field program. And that's where their use begins and ends as far as I'm concerned. Polling. I got a good poll from yesterday. I'll blow it up for you guys. Yeah, she's doing real good. I think this is a little bit high. I don't think it's a 4-point game. I think it's a 3-point game, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But yeah, no, it's just been great. I mean, she's, like I said, there's no bump. There's only the trajectory. So, yeah. So as far as endorsements go, Republicans for Harris, it's been surreal to say the least. Dick Cheney, Chuck Hagel, Ray LaHood, Christine Todd Whitman, guys. These are the gatekeepers that give permission to other Republicans to go vote for Harris. These are the permission givers, if you will. I cannot believe Dick Cheney and I are on the same side of the same campaign. This timeline is so messed up. So, former White House staff, there's almost a dozen right there. And those people worked with Trump. Former U.S. ambassadors, former U.S. attorneys, current administration officials, which is not something you see often. And that's when water is being lost. You know what I'm saying? Former administration officials, you get some of that. But also, all these guys are hardcore Republicans. Former U.S. representatives. Now, a friend of mine commented, and I very much give mad props to, pointed out that these individuals did not go against Trump when they were in office. Well, some of them weren't in office. Some of them were. Also, you gotta think about it. MAGA's not new. MAGA's been around since 2010, since we elected the first African American president. We really pissed off the right wing Republican, racist, fascist chunk of their party. And in 2010, we saw a manifestation of that as the Tea Party. So that was, and so over the last 14 years, most of the reasonable Republicans have been primaried into oblivion. There aren't any non-crazy, all the reasonably sane members of Congress on the Republican side either retired, retired, whatever, went to spend more time with their children. Their children are all 40. Or they were just primaried to death. It's 14 years later. 7 different primaries have happened since then. And it's like whittling a stick. You're just cutting away. Every 2 years, more reasonable Republicans are thrown to the wayside, redistricted. You have right-wing legislatures in some of these red states districting out what they would consider moderate Republicans, so they get one of their boys, one of their crazy nutball candidates into those primaries. So it's been, plus you've got more, independent voters, not independent voters, but more of the Democratic 50, Republican 50, but it was a Republican holding that seat. Now a Democrat holds that seat. So definitely seeing that in the state house here in Texas. Like Dallas is almost completely blue. There is, I think, 1, maybe 2 red state house seats out of 14. Back in 08, I think there were about 7 that were Republican. So yeah, this is an interesting bit of information. Former governors and former lieutenant governors, although Michael Steele has not made it even a passing dream how much he super freaking hates Trump. So yeah. So I'd like to talk about some of the talking points that I've heard over the last week. DI hire, and she doesn't have the experience, and blah blah blah. Well, MSNBC actually did a really good takedown of this. That's Kennedy's experience when he ran for the first time. He had 13 years of public service, House and Senate. Reagan had 8 years as a governor. Before that, he was a retired movie star, and he was doing commercials as a corporate shill in the 70s, telling you there are vitamins in cigarettes. Obama did state Senate, then Senate, 11 years. Trump did nothing. Trump had a television show for 16 years, whatever. Then you get to Kamala. She was a DA, public service, AG, public service, Senate, public service, VP, public service. 21 years of public service experience. I mean, literally the only other person I can think that's been in the presidency that has anything that, like, the MVP of experience in office is Biden. I mean, he's got 40 years. That's why I don't think he's on this graph, is because it would just be like everyone else be this and then be Biden. I think Hillary was an incredibly experienced candidate for public service. Her stuff actually looked a lot like, as far as experience level goes, minus the VP, but she had a lot of, a lot of the lawyer side and of course the Senate. But then she was first lady for 8 years in the White House. That's going to count for something. Anyway, Kamala is by far the most experienced nominee that, and as compared to any of the Republicans, Bush had, I mean, his dad was in office for 12 years and he was governor of this state for a half a minute. So yeah, I mean, there's really no comparison. And certainly, like, Trump has 4 years currently, because this is first time when they ran for office the first time, right? So Trump has 0, but now he's got 4. So it's still 4 to 21. So when they talk about experience in public service, and you've got, your uncle giving you trouble on Facebook or whatever, yeah, just tell them Kamala has 21 years of experience in public office. Your guy has 4. So it's 5 times. That's all you got to do. Nice talking point. Also, when they talk about, hey, our recovery has been rough and blah blah blah. Well, according to everyone on the planet, the United States has outperformed every other major economy that we would even bother to compare ourselves to. The next best is literally the 2 that we're adjacent to. So, and then it's France, Japan, Britain, and Germany's got problems. So where are we in the national polls? Well, Harris is, I believe the last time I posted one of these was like 2.8, 2.9. She's at 3.1. Like I said, I'll take 1/10 of a point a week from now until November. All day. Not a problem. By the end of that, that'll be another extra 1.5. Be feeling pretty good. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, we're at 3.1 right now. And this is that poll of polls that takes in all the polls that have happened and yada, yada. You'll notice that Trump is at 44. He can't get out of that number. He was at 46. And he, it's just been dropping and drop. I mean, just not even dropping, just flat. Like, and the horrible things that he's said, tells me that those people are going to vote for him. It doesn't matter what he says anymore. So, yeah. And then finally, these are all the voter registration deadlines. So everyone needs to get out and vote. You can pause this, take a screenshot, whatever. And just want to say thank you for watching. Check your voter status, like and subscribe. If you wish to support this channel, we have an account on PayPal at CLSP Politics. All right. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoy and have a great day. Bye-bye.